Welcome to Studio 5. Ben Affleck has a new film. We have building contractors with a recording contract. And it's a great day for a few jokes, and that's all ahead in this week's Studio 5. And to get things started, we're counting down the top 5 headlines in the world of uplifting entertainment. Here are the first 2. At number 5.
My name is Ben Marcus. Somehow I found myself as the main editor of a reality TV show called
Rosie's Roses. You made me look like a moron, for heaven's sake.
A few snapshots and a Studio 5 first look at the new film Selfie Dad from comedians Michael Jr. and Shonda Pierce, coming to a theater near you in June.
There's no way, man. I got a family.
Can you help out around the house? Jack needs help with his math homework.
I'll fix the toilet. You're watching a video. That's not math.
This guy is funny. He has to be. He's a millionaire.
Millionaire?
Nature pays him.
What? And this is my very first video. I got 2 atheist friends. Every time I'm around them, I sneeze just to see what they're gonna say.
At number 4, it's a Disneyland first.
For the first time in nearly a decade, a new daytime parade will make its way down Main Street, USA. This is Magic Happens, with moments from some of your favorite Disney and Pixar stories. Jordan Peterson is the show director.
We've got 9 brand new floats. We looked at them as large pieces of art. We really went back and we wanted to make sure that each of them had something to look at from every angle.
And so begins the countdown this week. It's time now to see what's new at the box office. It's Ben Affleck in The Way Back. He's a one-time basketball all-star struggling with addiction, divorce, and all-around loss, looking to make a comeback as he coaches his old team through some trying times of its own. From Hollywood red carpets to Clippers games.
It's a great movie. I'm as proud of this as anything I've ever done. It's about how sports can change people's lives. It's about redemption. It's about facing adversity and overcoming it. So many of the lessons that basketball teaches us.
Ben Affleck proudly invites audiences to see his new film, The Way Back. He plays a one-time high school basketball star, fighting his way back in life.
And I suppose you're wondering why I called you over here. Our basketball coach had a heart attack the other night. We need a new coach, Jack.
And you know your gifts seem heaven sent.
Is the team any good? No. The last time we made the playoffs, back when you were playing.
Let's go, line up.
You're Marcus, right?
That's right.
How many threes did Marcus make last year?
A percentage of 26.
You want to know why they're leaving you open? It's because they don't think you could hit the ocean from the beach.
I mean, there's no doubt he was enjoying it.
Studio 5 sits down with Affleck and castmates Melvin Gregg and Charles Lott Jr. here at New York's Xavier High School. How personal was Jack Cunningham for you?
Yeah, there were a lot of personal elements in the story for me. It's really important as an actor for me, and I'm getting much more interested, maybe it's getting older, in telling stories that are kind of relevant and feel more real rather than fantasy. I'm not that interested in, Joseph Campbell. I get it, and people like it, and when I was a kid, that was the kind of thing I really liked, but this is, on the one hand, there's some strong similarities. I'm a recovering alcoholic. He's dealing with alcoholism. He's been divorced. On the other hand, he's got some tragedy in his life that I pray God I never have to deal with, and that's a stretch, and that's where you reach and use your imagination as an actor.
So how you liking coaching so far? Great. Just getting used to the players. What players?
I was never sure how much of you I could let in.
I heard you're coaching basketball.
Yeah, keeps me busy, keeps my mind off other things,
Once you settle down, baby, here your love has been.
I spent a lot of time hurting myself.
Heavenly Father,
I made a lot of bad decisions.
don't carry other names.
I had a lot of regrets.
Gavin O'Connor, who directed the historical sports drama Miracle, directs this film. Leaving the theater, everyone is sort of talking, do we read this story somewhere? What's the book? Who's this based on? Where did this story come from?
Well, the story came from Brad Inglesby. He wrote the script. And it's funny because the script that he sent me, it was more, I would say it's probably a little more basketball heavy. What happens as a filmmaker is you find something and then how do I make it personal and how do I kind of sort of massage it in the direction that story that I want to tell. So, that's what we did. But it all started with Brad. He had a pretty significant basketball background with his family. So,
Brandon, really love your character.
Game's on the line. I want you taking that shot. Why is that so hard for you to believe? What? That you're the best player on the team.
What did you learn from him? What did he teach you?
He taught me things that I was, I guess, exploring at the same time as I was shooting this movie. Being okay with who you are at the time, but also being okay to let go of that person if someone pushes you and shows you that you can be stronger or more than you thought you could be. So I think throughout the filming process, there was a lot of things happening at the same time that did create a lot of doubt very consistently that with the help of this character in this film and the time helped me get to where I am today.
I got a feeling this team is not as bad as its record. We have to trust each other.
We have to have faith.
The Way Back is in American theaters this Friday. That is March 6th.
Coming up.
There's in my heart a melody. Jesus whispers sweet and low.
Meet the real-life contractors.
Precious Lord.
With a recording contract.
Your paycheck. Your family depends on it. But if something happened to you, you need life insurance. And chances are SelectQuote can get it for you for under $1 a day. SelectQuote found Michael, 38, a $500,000 policy for under $23 a month. SelectQuote found Anna, 37, a $750,000 policy for under $23 a month. SelectQuote's secret? They comparison shop a select group of great companies like these for your best rate. Give your family the security they need at a price you can afford. Since 1985, SelectQuote has saved over 1 million families millions of dollars on life insurance.
Call now. 1-800-546-8380. That's 1-800-546-8380 or go to SelectQuote.com.
Discover what over 1 million families know. We shop, you save.
At number 3.
My dad has no friends, and your dad has no friends. If you think your dad has friends, you're wrong. Your mom has friends, and they have husbands.
Some picture-perfect memories from John Mulaney's return to Saturday Night Live. But it's his dad joke that has people laughing, thinking, and still talking.
It is hard to make friends when you're an adult male. I think that's the greatest miracle of Jesus, truly, is that he was a 33-year-old man, and he had 12 best friends. And they were not his wife's friends' husbands, and he didn't meet them a long time ago in school. He met him in his 30s.
At number 2.
No reason.
It's Chris Pratt at work in the new film Onward in theaters this week, but more fans' eyes may be on what's next. The actor sharing on Instagram day 1 of 100 shooting the next Jurassic Park, Jurassic World Dominion. He's also launched Indivisible Productions, aiming to use media to bridge the political divide.
Come on, you can get out of this.
Well, that leaves us with only one more story in this week's countdown and brings us to this week's Sit Down. It's Josh Arnett and Aaron Gray, 2 professional builders who accidentally became known as the Singing Contractors. Sample their sound and that will explain exactly why.
Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee.
Singing Contractors, CD number 4 in the last 5 years. Does this story begin with how great thou art?
How great thou
Nobody else remembered the other videos.
How many videos were you doing before that?
We were just having fun, but a guy messaged me on my personal Facebook and said, "Hey, would you sing How Great Thou Art?" We was like, "Yeah." Well, we was working in a basement that day, which it was perfect for the acoustics. And I told Josh, "Man, we got to sing that today." And
so we were warming up, and there's another guy laying tile. They started harmonizing with us, and we recorded that one time. We was like, "Hey, come over here," and blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, we put it on social. We didn't have our own Facebook page or anything. And then it starts going nuts for us, and we're like, "Wow, this is crazy."
Jesus whispers sweet and low.
But people were starting to message us and request songs, and they're the ones that named us.
Yeah.
Hey, would the singing contractors sing this song? Well, okay.
Home waiting in the sky or in the sky.
Now, singing and music runs in your families, but neither of you thought a career in music?
Oh, I know.
Well, we would always love to do that, but
well,
never
it's always in the back of your mind, man, that this would be cool if you could do this. But I had resound in my mind, that'll never happen, you know. And so it's all just very overwhelming to be in this spot right now, you know.
Because it's a lot of hard work. If you see other people, singers and stuff, there's so much work, and to actually do it for a living, that's a lot, you know. It's not easy.
I can face tomorrow because He lives. All fear is gone.
Was this ever a prayer for you guys?
Not really. In the beginning, I don't want to speak for you, but neither one of us were spiritually ready to even be in this position. And we grew up in church and was taught the right way, and have always had a desire to serve God, and you know, we've always wanted to serve God and was always in the church. But when you're in the workforce and
everyday life, it's hard.
When you start doing things on your own instead of let God control your life, you end up making many mistakes and fail. And but man, God started showing us, boys, I'm going to use you anyways. And man, He started working on us, and now to be able to sing Forgiven, and we still sing this little song sometimes. He's still working on me to make me what I ought to be.
Take my hand,
precious
Lord.
I was probably one of millions listening to you on YouTube and so forth many years ago. You guys have really changed lives as a result of what you're doing now.
Well, I would say God has changed lives through two simple guys, and it has been amazing because we've had story after story, even from guys that are kind of rough and tough like us, or like we think we are. Messages and say, guys, you got me. You know, you got the tears rolling, and just time and time after, messages like that. It keeps us going. Because one soul is worth all the effort.
And still showing up on contracting jobs, you two?
Tomorrow. Yep, we'll be right back to work tomorrow.
Life is worth the living just because He lives. He lives.
And we'll have more from the singing contractors just a little bit later in the show. We've got to take a quick break right here, but before we do, it is time to say it in pictures. Here's this week's Studio 5 Snapshot.
We take you to the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts, where more than 70 works from famous African-American artists are now on display. It's all thanks to former Philadelphia school superintendent Constance E. Clayton. She's the first African-American woman to hold the post, and she donated the works from her own personal collection. She wanted to be sure the people in her hometown could enjoy them. And they're this week's Studio 5 Snapshot.
still to come.
I'm going to run inside right quick so I can meet one of these families. And we had set up a dinner for them at 6 o'clock today. So
this comedian is on the road.
That had to be a very, very traumatic experience.
Delivering a dose of laughter to Studio 5. At number 1.
Owning a bank is like owning the other side of the real estate business.
There's a few complexities you just left out.
Like what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I not wake up black this morning? Because I'm pretty sure I did. Yep, still black.
Samuel L. Jackson and Anthony Mackie bringing the real-life story of Joe Morris and Bernard Garrett to the big screen. And Studio 5 is here in Memphis, Tennessee to bring you your first look at the film The Banker, and there's no better place to begin this story than right here at the National Civil Rights Museum and the Lorraine Motel, where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated back in 1968.
It's time that someone shine a bright light in order for things to change.
You starting to buy real estate in white-only neighborhoods?
Keep one eye open. Think about all the good we can do for the community.
Taking it to the man.
That's exactly what we're going to do.
In theaters Friday, set in the segregated 1950s and 60s, the men hire a white man to pose as the head of their company, while posing as a janitor and a chauffeur and actually running the business. Though largely unknown, this story certainly deserved its place in the pages of national civil rights history. In many ways, it led to the Housing Act of 1968, which made it illegal to refuse to sell property based on religion, race, or gender.
You want me to what? Be us to the rest of the world.
We can't set foot in the bank unless we to help. Should have took limo driver when you had the chance.
I don't know anything about banking. I don't know how to buy a bank.
We'll teach you everything you need to know.
You gotta learn how to talk to rich white folks like you one of them.
And you can't fake a golf game.
Make me proud, son.
When we meet your character, he's already pretty successful. What is it that's driving him inside to want to do this?
Well, he has a sense of race pride. I mean, he knows what that is. I mean, he's that guy that, people kind of look at. And you look at him as, okay, he's this, nightclub owner. He's a womanizer. He's maybe an alcoholic. He doesn't present himself as a pillar of the community, but behind the scenes, he's doing a lot more than people understand.
Well, that is a wrap for this week's Countdown and brings us to a dose of laughter. This week, our resident comedian Lionel Harris sits down with Team Fred. He's a disabled Army veteran, and he tells us he gets his comedic wit from his grandfather.
All y'all do is, I'm sitting at my desk one time, and my coworker frantically ran over to me. He's like, yo, Fred, you gotta hurry get to the bathroom. I'm like, what's wrong? What happened? Somebody just blew it up. I'm like, why in the world I want to go in and smell this nasty stuff? But then as soon as they left, I found myself getting up, going there, trying to smell it. Like I would discover a new scent or something. Do you ever went in the bathroom and it smelled so bad it made you want to look between that little gap in the stone door to see who it is sitting on the stool making that hideous smell? Made you want to reach in and pull them off the stool because you thought they were threatened like global warming or something. The first place you look is on the floor for them shoes. So you can identify the assailant when they come outside from the lobby. I done got so good now, my job, I pick 2 pairs of shoes in the bathroom now. I walk in with a black pair, use the bathroom, walk out with the right hand.
All right, y'all tuned into your Joke a Day segment. I'm Lionel Harris. And Fred, man, what you telling people about yourself?
Fred McKinnon, also known as Team Fred. I am a comedian based out of the Virginia area.
I know Fred, and one thing I learned about him is that he enjoys smelling his coworkers. I want to know why. What is it? Why do you enjoy smelling your coworkers, bro? Like, what is that about?
It's funny how people, take something nasty and want you to experience it. Like if somebody, passes gas over there, be like, man, hey, go over here, that stinks. Why would you want me to go over there if you know already it stinks?
Why do you think people do that?
I don't know. Curiosity, I guess it is. But it's crazy.
Is it misery loves company? Is that what it is?
What it is? Misery loves company. But you find that too often that the more raunchy the thing is, or the more, like if I told you right now, man, you ain't gonna believe this, I seen a one-legged dog out there, you'll be more amped to go see that instead if I said, hey, it's a couple holding hands with a beautiful baby. You'd be like, oh, I don't want to see that, but if I tell you something crazy, you'd be like, I gotta go investigate.
Right.
So that the whole farting and smelling stuff.
If I saw a one-legged couple holding a dog, though,
that would be funny.
I would go see that.
But again, that's not normal.
I went actually into a restroom today that was pretty bad. That actually Febrezed my clothes when I walked out. You ever had a situation like that?
It make you feel dirty.
Yeah. I just I want to make sure it ain't seep in my pores.
Yeah. The main thing is when you walk in the bathroom, smell bad. Look at somebody's shoes.
Right.
So one of the jokes I have is that I take 2 pairs of shoes in the bathroom with me. So that when I walk out, my coworkers won't realize who it is.
What do you put the extra pair of shoes?
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's trying to come up with something creative.
Yeah.
So
see, it's usually a little hook on the back of the door, though.
Yeah, it is.
You could tie the shoelaces together.
Or take a gym bag. Yep.
Right.
So,
you don't want to put a gym bag on the bathroom floor, though.
Comedy, put on the hook, put on the back.
Oh, yeah. People come to a Team Fred show. What is one thing that you hope they take away specifically from your comedy?
When I do the military shows, just the fact that we can have fun from a diverse group of comics. When I do the military shows, I try to get people from all walks of life. Now, when I do like a church show, what I'm trying to portray is that we can have fun in church. It's a stigma that our generation thinks that a lot of people are not going to church is because of the fact that you can't have fun. You got to wear a suit and tie. You got to be stuck up. You got to wear white gloves. You got to follow these rituals. So a lot of times when I walk into a church event, I get the, like I'm the guest pastor, type situation.
Right.
And I'm trying to show them that, hey, at the end, if I can get somebody to say, man, I had a good time. I come with a message too. So it's not just about joking and having a good time. I come with a message saying, hey, we can have fun in church. It's okay to laugh. Because if you hold it in, you're going to pass gas, something like that. And people
right. And then everybody come smell it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lionel Harris and Team Fred. Want to remind you that if you're in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area, you can catch Joke a Day live this Friday. That's March 6th. Visit LionelHarris.com for more information. Still ahead.
We thought we would get you some studio time so that you could be able to put out your message.
Hear the song and story.
We all need people like you to do what you're doing.
Behind these sweet surprises.
Because I didn't get my car, it was really difficult to commute.
What if I told you that you wouldn't have to worry about that anymore? It's for you.
All from Justin Bieber. Next.
If you want to be an attorney with a passion for serving people and for excellence, Regent University needs to be high on your list.
Regent's award-winning law school doesn't just create lawyers. We create leaders, judges, prosecutors and defense lawyers, civil litigators, and leaders in government. Ready to become a purpose-driven, practice-ready lawyer? To start your rewarding career, complete the online application, submit your transcripts, and take the law school admissions test by July.
Nutrition, exercise, essential oils, weight loss, and more. It's Healthy Living with Lori Johnson.
Talk about what's in this.
Join CBN health reporter Lori Johnson to get the latest information from today's top health experts.
This is fantastic.
Find out what you need to know to live a healthier life. Watch Healthy Living, Tuesday night at 9:30.
Welcome back to Studio 5. There's a beautiful tune playing in our ear as we're working to bring you this show this week. It's from Justin Bieber and Quavo. It's called Intentions, and it comes with a music video and Justin surprising and supporting women in need at Alexandria House. It's a mission to help women and children move from crisis to stability.
My Colorado, got that ring, just like Toronto. Love you now, a little more tomorrow. That's how I feel. Act like you know that you are.
Sorry, that's Bart.
Well, on that musical note, we are just about out of time for today's show. So let's take a minute and look ahead to next week.
What are you doing? How many are you doing?
Thousands.
John Rhys Davies' next big role.
He's Welsh. He's got a great voice. It was kind of a dream come true for me. And then when I met up with him and then we did the voiceover, he just nailed it. He so captured the essence of St. Patrick. And I was like, we have to have him play old Patrick.
Studio 5 has an all-access look at the making of I Am Patrick.
I was drawn to this project because I love the character of Patrick. I think he's a fascinating modern, and he's a great man. He's the beginnings of Irish literature.
Now, we certainly hope you'll join us for that and so much more come next week. As for the final word in this show, we're giving that to those singing contractors. If you guys could go back in time to your younger selves and give some advice, what would you say?
Eat better.
Leave the Ponderosa alone.
Oh, man. Well,
probably for me, you look back over your life and you look at all the mistakes, and it's, I guess you would call it spiritual mistakes, or just even mistakes in life. I wish I could go back and change that and make them right, and do it from a younger age and live a consistent life. Just feel like it would be so much more rewarding, you know.
If I could just follow God and be completely true to Him, read His Word every day like I should, and pray consistently, I think my life would have been a whole different story. But I think God allowed those things to happen so that I could share with others on what not to do.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we've been able to share with a lot of guys that we relate with, don't do this, buddy.
Yeah.
And if you did do it, here's how you can change, you know. And wow, it's a responsibility.
Nothing wasted. God will work it all out for your good and for His glory. That is a great final word for this edition of Studio 5 and this week's look at uplifting entertainment. Until next time, make time to uplift someone around you, and then please come on back and see where Studio 5 takes you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.